It's the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
This is Kyle Hyman, and joining us back on the show is one of the highlights of doing this show, getting to talk to her previously. She's back on because she's going to be in town for a retreat. Encourage people to check it out. It's a women's retreat, Be It Done. It's going to be offered at St. Vincent's in Elkhart, September 7th. So make sure you're signed up for that. Judy Hehr, how are you doing?
Kyle, I am blessed beyond measure, my friend, and it's great to be with you again. I didn't think you remembered me, so that was kind of a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much.
Oh, I certainly do. And to maybe kind of recap your story here, let's see if I get this right. Bankrupt at 20, millionaire by 30, 22 years old, homeless and addicted to drugs, kind of a drop out of school, but then turn things around, 34, healthy mother, then 37, you're almost divorced, but then 45, you've got a thriving marriage. Kind of this roller coaster of sorts, it sounds like.
Yes, Kyle. That would be the highs and the lows, and the reality that we are never to put a period where God puts a comma, and that He is faithful to complete the work He has begun. Despite us, So yes, Kyle, that's the story in a nutshell.
So why do you... well, I guess maybe I shouldn't assume that you enjoy telling your story, but why do you choose to tell your story, and do you enjoy telling it?
So, Kyle, I do believe that unshared pain is wasted pain. My husband and I learned that through the Retrovi ministry, an amazing ministry for troubled couples, which absolutely saved our marriage. And so I do believe that God has revealed Himself in such a profound way that I would be doing a disservice to His story if I didn't tell my story. So yes, it is a privilege and an honor to be in His one holy Catholic Apostolic Church and share His unrelenting love, unending mercy, and just His incredible radical forgiveness and grace in my life. So it's a privilege, always, always.
And was there like a switch that flipped when you realized that, when you kind of understood God's love and kind of turned things around, or was it more of a gradual thing?
So God had intervened countless times in my life, Kyle, and I have a very short memory. And so as soon as I went from desperation to needing God, and when I was on the other side of desperation, it became just a matter of convenience. And so Him and His infinite wisdom and love for me allowed an opportunity to unfold in my life where I could never, ever forget what He had done. And so ironically, that was when I was 37 and 5 months old, which is my favorite psalm, delight in the Lord, and He will give you your heart's desire. So it was that time in my life where I did finally surrender and allow it to be done unto me in ways that would be unimaginable. And so, yes, 37 years old, my friend, is when I finally realized I came to the gospel through much affliction and conviction, as Paul says in 1 Thessalonians.
Yeah. Any advice for somebody who's kind of struggling right now and maybe, struggling with some of these issues, maybe struggling with faith, maybe finances? What do you suggest?
So, Kyle, I do live my life in such a way now where I trust the wisdom of God resides within every one of His people. So I don't give advice. However, Kyle, I am a truth teller and a lie dispeller. So if I'm telling the truth in this interview today, it is that it is never too late for you to be who God has called you to be. It is never too late for God's plan to unfold in your life. And while Romans 8:28 reminds us so succinctly that God will work and does work all things for His glory and our good, we just need to turn to Him and allow Him to do what only He can do. So all solutions are spiritual. You mentioned financial, relational, whatever we might be navigating that seems unsure or uncertain. I will just remind whoever is listening today that God is in it and He will win the victory for you. It has already been done. We just need to be still.
We're talking with Judy Hehr. You can find her website, mydynamicdirection.com. And as I mentioned, she's going to be in town, and all women should want to check this out. A women's retreat, Be It Done. and that's at St. Vincent's Elkhart, September 7th. And the theme of the retreat is Satisfy Your Heart's Desire. So, what is our heart's desire, and how do we satisfy that?
So, Kyle, I guess our heart's desire is to know, love, and serve God. And so when we ultimately do that, we are given far more than we could ever ask, dream, or imagine. And so I have the privilege this Saturday of being at this retreat, giving 2 different presentations, and one is my testimony, like you just mentioned, my life, my shattered, broken heart that God has transformed in ways that are indescribable, and I'll attempt to articulate that as best I can on Saturday. And then I also have the privilege of unpacking who we were created to be, and when we are living our best self, which in many cases is we're created for so much more than I think we settle for as women. And when we are bringing our best spiritual game, we can do things that build bridges and create relationships and allow for the mercy and grace of God to be operating in every facet of our life.
What do you think holds people back from their heart's desire?
You know, Kyle, I think for me it was limiting beliefs. Again, I can only speak for myself and my story. I believe not knowing who God was, and just as significant as a result of that, not knowing who I was. So who I was and to whom I belonged was the foundation that was so severely jaded and misunderstood. And once those seeds started to germinate, it was very easy to see God in everything and to trust Him for everything. So I think that's it. I think believing the truth with a capital T, that we are who God says and He is who He says. And if we could get that, Kyle, I think we would all live in such profoundly impactful ways for His kingdom and our church, that it's just such a great ride, Kyle. They're missing out. They're missing out without Jesus at the wheel, for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like your message is not just for women. This is for anybody. But when you're doing a women's retreat like this, anything specific that you would have as a challenge for women or inspiration for them?
So, Kyle, I just love being such an instrumental part as a woman in the furthering of God's kingdom. And I really think as women, all of us women, we tend to forget that we were first and foremost created to relate. We are relational to the core. And when we are keeping our spiritual lives in check and allowing God's grace and love and mercy to flow through us, we step into relationships versus withdrawing from them. So I think it started in the garden, my friend. Eve forgot what she was created for, and we are here to remind other women that at our best, we are emotional, we are relational, and we are mentally bringing God's love and mercy and forgiveness. Whether people earn it, deserve it, attain it, doesn't matter. It can be misunderstood and taken for granted. But every time we pull our piece out of the equation, we have stopped doing what God has called us here to do. So I can't wait to get these women in a room and remind them, and never from a place of condemnation or judgment. I have been there and I have done that, and I know that God has created not only me, but for every woman for so much more than what we ever can imagine is in store. And I will challenge them to live out that reality, one relationship, one interaction, one day at a time.
I've got a phone number and email address that I'm going to give people so they can get signed up for the retreat. So get your pens ready. But while you're getting that ready, listener, what kind of a person should come to this, or what kind of women should we invite to go to it?
Oh, Kyle, these questions are so easy. Every woman, for any age, any stage, any season of life, everybody. God will speak to you in the circumstance and the season of your life. He will meet you there, and He will direct you and protect you to whatever the next season has in store. So every woman, every age, every age of life, every season of faith are welcome to attend. And Kyle, I'm going to make it easy for you. You gave a website, Judy JudyHehr.com is even easier.
Okay.
JudyHehr.com as the way to find me and all the social media platforms. And if anyone listening wants to talk to me personally about why they should come, you can just call me. And you can find that number on my website as well. So all are welcome every time, all the time.
All right. JudyHehr.com, Judy. Hehr is Hehr. So JudyHehr.com. And if you want to get registered for the retreat, you can email LORIA Massa, MASSA @gmail.com. And the phone number is 574-293-8071. 574-293-8071. I'll have this information in the show notes when this episode gets posted. But highly encourage women to check us out. It's going to be Saturday the 7th at St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church in Elkhart from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So just one day, not even the whole day. And it's going to be an action-packed. And if talking to you over the phone is any indication, I'm expecting lots of energy, excitement, enthusiasm, and joy.
Kyle, you got that right, my friend. And here's the thing. The highlight is not Judy Hehr speaking. The absolute highlight is the fact that it'll be a day of introspection and reflection, including confessions, Mass, and Eucharistic adoration. That's the trifecta, Kyle. I'm just the afterthought. So let's make sure people know that those three things will be available to them, and Jesus will meet them in any and all of those things that day for sure. And he might use me in a big way. Who knows, Kyle? I'm trusting him to do that.
And if somebody is not able to go, or if they would like to read your book before going to the retreat, where's the best place to get a copy of that?
Again, Kyle, I think the easiest way for anyone to find me in all ways is at JudyHehr.com, and they can find my book there as well.
All right. Again, Judy, Hehr.com. Thank you so much, Judy. This is going to be a great retreat. Hopefully a lot of people can join you on it. Appreciate it.
I hope so, too, but we'll minister to who's there, Kyle. God bless, and thanks so much for taking time out of your day to let me share with whoever's listening.